would like to see if they could stack up enough contracts to take on his $30 million for this season and keep him, perhaps even flip him at the trade deadline. There are other teams who would trade for him and treat it like a salary cap savings. They would not guarantee his contract before that June 28th deadline, and then he would become a free agent. And Greeny, if Chris Paul is out there as a free agent this summer, look at the two teams in LA, the Clippers and Lakers, the Knicks in New York, the Golden State Warriors. Those would all be potential destinations for Chris Paul.
So, yeah, two teams in LA make sense to me. The CP3 I know would never go to the Golden State Warriors. Can't do it. Too competitive. Sorry. Steph, I'm looking at you with all due respect in the world. I want to go at you. I don't want to play with you. Difference. Like, these two are arch rivals. And I know that people can say, well, when you're making a decision about, what team you're going to go to and, what gives you a closer fit, I hear all that to winning a championship. But the one thing I know about CP3, he's going to do it his way. And his way, this dude is cut from a different cloth. He's not going to go to somebody that he competes, that he feels like people see us, or if I see me as an equal, or I feel like I'm better than you. Regardless of right or wrong, Key, I never see CP3 playing with Steph Curry. I can't see it. He's not one of those type of dudes.
Doesn't seem like it would even fit, though.
No.
It doesn't.
Well,
the fit doesn't. The LA, two teams in LA seems like a fit. I don't even know if the Knicks. I know the Knicks. That doesn't seem like a fit.
You got Jalen Brunson.
You got two smaller guards. That
Emmanuel quickly, smaller. Yep.
A liability from a defensive standpoint. I don't know. I mean, if I'm him, I'm focusing in on the two LA teams mainly. Well, you can't really say mainly the Lakers because they still are banged up here and there all the time between Anthony Davis and LeBron, and then you got Paul George and Kawhi banged up in and out of the lineup. But those seem like those are the two best fits.
Well, number one, I would want to stay in Phoenix. I would really want to figure that out if I had a good relationship with Matt Ashibia, because it doesn't come often that you get a chance to play with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, who are prolific, and you could be additive to a championship team, right? Especially if you're a free agent, you take less money, you get back to an organization, you figure out the pieces that you need. Number two, if that doesn't work, I need to go somewhere where I can have somebody that could be a rim protector. And I think that was one of the challenges you had with Phoenix, sometimes with DeAndre Ayton, whether he was bought in or not, right? At this point of his career, I don't think CP3 still has the lateral foot speed to be a big-time perimeter defender, but he still can be physical and can muscle up. But you can apply better ball pressure when you know you got a guy behind you like Anthony Davis, right? You can play offensively off a guy like LeBron James and AD, utilizing them both in pick-and-roll possessions. So that's how I was stacking
guys,
Phoenix and LA.
What are we talking about here? Let's be real. If Phoenix waives him and doesn't want him, if it's not just, well, we want him at a reduced price, but it's like this works better, as you said, Jay, with the ball in Devin Booker's hands, or whatever the case may be, but he's out. The Lakers. I mean, so obviously the Lakers. He's never gotten to play with LeBron, right? The whole banana boat thing, right? He is
never got a chance to play for the Lakers. David Stern locked it down.
He's never played for the Lakers, a trade that David Stern essentially undid. What was this, going back now 10 years when Kobe was still there? The Lakers could use a veteran ball handler who can shoot to spell LeBron and make things a little easier, especially at minimal cost, right? It's the Clippers, who have Westbrook, by the way, and that was actually looking pretty good. It's the Lakers. Lakers are clearly the team that makes the most sense if he wants to play on the minimum, and the Lakers could just slide him in.
Can I tell you another team that should take a stab at it, and they should make a hard move towards it, because I think he would change the locker room? The Memphis Grizzlies.
Oh, interesting.
Like if you're thinking about what's about to happen to Ja Morant, how many games he will be suspended, you now have another guard along with Tyus Jones that can, really take the mantle, handle it, but also what that does to your locker room when Ja does come back. It gives somebody just, hey, this is the kind of calming, like, legitimization of how to lead within the NBA.
Like the idea of getting CJ McCollum in with the Pelicans.
Yes, something similar.
Yeah.
I think it's an interesting concept to float. I'm not saying CP3 would do it, but I think Memphis should make a hard press towards having that.
I'm probably at this age. I'm not doing it if I'm CP3.
No, that's why I said I don't think.
I got kids at home.
I don't. That's what I said. I
You
don't
don't
think
need kids in the
CP3 would
locker
do
room.
it.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that Memphis shouldn't make a hard push for it.
Yeah. But
because of what they need.
When you look at need from both sides, the fit, the whole thing, it's the Lakers. It's the Lakers by far, especially if they don't have to pay him, right? Because he's already getting the money from Phoenix. If that's the case.
And he's a guy that could play alongside LeBron James, could be utilized as a spot-up shooter.
Yes, he helps space the floor, among other things, right? Makes good decisions with the ball, the whole thing, high IQ. And the main thing is you can, in that setting, you can limit his minutes in the regular season so that he is finally, for the first time in his career, really healthy for the playoffs.
All I'm saying is I hear it. Like, if I were CP3, I would do it. If I was the Lakers, I would take a look to see what the market actually provided, but I can get him for cheap, I would do it. But you do have two guys who are 38, 39 years old who have had injuries now, and you have Anthony Davis, who is a great defensive player but has struggled with injuries as well. And it's a risk that you take, but, man, it's an old team.
We were talking about Kyrie in the last segment, too, and a couple segments ago, and, talking about would he fit with Miami. I think the consensus is no. But where would he fit? What's the best landing spot?
Dallas.
Just to stay put, right? He's going to get his money.
Dallas.
What about James Harden?
The Phoenix thing is interesting.
I agree. That's what I said last week.
Really interesting.
You shot it down.
I didn't shoot it down.
You, as you would say, poo-pooed it.
No, I didn't. How did I poo-poo it?
You poo-pooed it. There was poo-pooing.
You can't just say I poo-pooed it without telling me how I did it.
I said maybe am I thinking of this just in?
Nope.
No, I'm thinking of this show. I love him on Phoenix.
I think Phoenix makes a lot of sense. I think Philly makes a lot of sense. The thing I think within Phoenix would be different is I think he can play off the ball as well. He can play off the ball. I just don't know.
Oh, yes, it was you. You said they like the ball in D Book's hands, blah, blah.
I'm just not sure Frank Vogel with how he wants his team to buy in defensively,
doesn't sound
how
like
James fits into that. But it's the same thing with Philly. It's the same problem that they're going to have in Philly.
We mentioned Dame, the Heat. That's where he wants to go. It makes a lot of sense for everyone. CP3, I think we all agree, to the Lakers, right? That makes the most sense. What about Bradley Beal? What makes the most sense for Bradley Beal, and who needs him most, do you think?
Who needs Bradley Beal the most? I mean...
And what makes the most sense for him? He's the type of player, I don't know if he could be the best player on a championship team, but he could put a team over the top. That's a big weapon to bring in.
I mean, look, him and JWill and B would be really interesting together because they know how to play. Him and Memphis ain't bad.
You want everyone in Memphis.
I'm not. I'm just saying Memphis is a live spot.
We find out Jay's got an investment thing in Memphis.
What are you talking about? I said CP3
bought up a bunch of land
because of a locker room issue, right? And I say because look, they don't have Dylan Brooks. I'm not saying that's as much of a wing defender, but I mean they need a prolific shooter. Like is Desmond Bane the answer? Like I don't know. It could fit.
Does Aaron Rodgers
Sacramento
make the Jets a lock? Don't send Rodgers to Memphis because he's in New York now.